how you know when you have an author with a following, or any guest with a following. Yeah, you know. Mm-hmm. Everybody's calling in advance, asking when he's coming on. John Sandford is on the phone, and John has a following. He's got a new novel. It's called Deep Freeze. John is also John Camp, right?
Yes. So impressive.
So that's as a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist. So he changed his name for his novels so he could win other prizes, right?
Yeah.
What happens if, like, he's up against himself? Could that ever happen?
I bet it could.
Could you ever be competing against yourself if you have two different names? Deep Freeze
is amazing.
And everybody seems to know his character, Virgil Flowers, also. This is a Virgil Flowers novel. Let's find out about this from John Sandford. Good morning, John.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. You're two people in one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yes.
Where are you? Where are you calling from?
I am standing in a hotel room in downtown Minneapolis and looking out the window at the sunshine.
Oh, the book doesn't the book take place in Minnesota?
Yeah, it does. Most of the series takes place there. The next one will take place in Washington, D.C., but this one is down in southern Minnesota.
Is that where you live? Do you live in Minnesota?
No, I live in Santa Fe, actually.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay. Santa Fe, where?
Nice.
In New Mexico?
New Mexico.
New Mexico? Okay. I didn't know if there was one in Florida. I thought there was one here. No, there's a college here called Santa Fe. That's right. Okay, I couldn't remember. So tell me about the story, and tell me about Virgil Flowers.
Well, Virgil Flowers, I actually write two series. One of them is a rather dark and violent series starring a guy named Lucas Davenport. Virgil is my effort to be a little funnier and a little bit lighter. And in this particular case, he's investigating two things. One of them is a murder, and the other one is a group of women in this kind of desperate little town in southern Minnesota where there are no jobs in the wintertime. Begin altering Barbie dolls in a rather ugly and erotic way, and incur the wrath of the Mattel Corporation. So Virgil is forced in to try to investigate who's making erotic Barbie dolls.
That's kind of funny. Hope you're okay with us laughing at that. That is funny, though, in my mind. I don't know. Did you have fun when you had the idea? Did you laugh to yourself?
Yeah, I was talking to somebody else about this, and I don't know where these ideas come from. I think just kind of from walking around. But you know those kind of Christmas cards you get where you open them up and you know there's like a little recording thing in there,
right?
A little recording device.
Right.
What they've done is that they cut open the Barbie doll and they put one of these recordings in there, and when you pull Barbie's little string on her back, she has an orgasm. and that seriously annoys Mattel, and they've done things to the Ken doll that I can't talk about on the air, I don't think. So
oh no. Oh, fun. Hey, it's fun anyway. All right. So Deep Freeze. Why is it called Deep Freeze? Because it's in Minnesota. Everything's frozen up there.
Because it's in Minnesota in January, and everything is frozen up. The woman who's murdered winds up bobbing around at the sewage plant at the in the town of Tripton, because the rest of the Mississippi River is completely frozen over hard, and she just by chance bobs up at the sewage plant because that's the only place that's got open water. At any rate, it's very cold in this book.
Well, it's amazing that the whole town, though, is rallying around this person who is doing the deed to the dolls.
Well, the thing about that is that I don't write social realism. I don't write. I write thriller novels, and this is a thriller novel, but. You go through these little towns, and a lot of them are pretty desperate because the Midwest is sort of emptying out, and people are moving to the big cities. There's nothing for the kids to do. A lot of the businesses have been destroyed by the big online businesses and stuff, and so they're desperate for jobs. And this woman invents the erotic Barbie doll, and she's got a group of women working with her, and they sell them on the internet. For a nice little profit, and this is the only jobs around. So they're going to defend their jobs, and when Virgil starts looking at them, they get pretty upset with him.
Did you do research to see if somebody already had an erotic Barbie doll?
No, I don't. I looked on the internet and I couldn't find any kind of erotic Barbie doll. So I mean, it might be an idea somebody wants to run with.
I just typed it in, erotic Barbie doll. Oh my gosh, there's some interesting.
Yeah, you don't want to think about that too much.
How do you keep Virgil with his two personalities, with his in the Prey series and then in his own?
Well, it's really more for my benefit than it is for the benefit of the books, because with the Prey series, sometimes they're so dark and they deal with some really ugly crimes, and I'm not that dark a guy, and Virgil really gives me a chance to just kind of relax a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And you also write novels for young adults, so you really have a lot of different genres that you have a huge number of fans for.
Just don't confuse the two.
Well, the young adult stuff is that's also fairly dark and violent, and it's kind of odd thinking about writing. I mean, the young girl in the young adult books is. I guess you'd call her a sociopath, but she's an interesting character. So,
is there a real Tripton, Minnesota?
No, there isn't. There's a town that I modeled it on, but I put it down in a place where there really are no towns. It's a very kind of a desolate stretch of the Mississippi River.
Because they would not be happy with you, I don't think.
No, I don't think they would be happy with it.
But the book is a good read. I'm not thrown into dark, but I enjoyed this one. This was very, very good. It's mind taxing too, because you feel like you're part of whatever scenario is going on at the particular moment of the story, and that's really, really a good thing for the reader, myself anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I do, I'm a commercial writer, and I hope people like the things. I talked to about 150 people or 160 people last night about these books, and they seem to like them, so I'm going to keep writing them.
I have a copy of Deep Freeze by John Sandford. Call me right now if you want it. The rest of us have to go buy it. I did find it on Amazon. Do you have a website you want to direct us to besides Amazon?
There's a John Sandford, it's johnsandford.org, not .com. But johnsandford.org's got all kinds of information on it, and goings on and schedules and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, let me give this one away real quickly. Good morning. You've got the book. Who's this?
Hey, Larry, this is Tom. How you doing?
Hey, good, Tom. You've got the book.
Hey, he's one of my favorite authors.
Is that
I've
right?
read just about everything.
Oh my gosh! There's a fan for you, John. Tom, John.
Now, I have to ask him: does Virgil Flowers tow his fishing boat in this one?
Everything is so frozen up. That's one of the first questions his girlfriend asked him. He said, "Have you ever been to Tripton when you weren't pulling a fishing boat?" And he said, "I don't think I have, but this time he doesn't." So.
Yeah, you've got a following in this listening audience. John, thank you so much. The phone lit up, by the way. I could only give away one book. The rest of us have to go buy it. How about that? Thank you, John, for being on the show. What an honor.
Yeah, thank you very much for calling me.
You're welcome. We'll be right back. This is WOCA Ocala.
Fox News Radio, I'm Chris Foster. Florida Congresswoman Frederica Wilson, in a fight with the White House over her criticism of a presidential condolence call to a military widow, says President Trump's Chief of Staff John Kelly is lying about her. She was on CNN.
I was not even in Congress in 2009 when the money for the building was secured. So that's a lie. How dare he?
Kelly says Wilson got up and bragged about getting funding for an FBI field office during a ceremony naming the building for 2 agents killed in the line of duty. A 96-year-old former Nazi guard is charged as an accessory to murder in Germany.
Prosecutors say there's evidence he knew mass killings were taking place at a Nazi death camp. They also allege he played a role in a notorious round of shootings known as the Harvest Festival executions, in which at least 17,000 Jewish prisoners were killed.
Fox's Simon Owen, the Madonna camp was in Nazi-occupied Poland. Fox News. We report, you decide.
You know those families who quietly enjoy the holidays? Me neither. Well, until thecompany.store.com. Now the kids love